Hello, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I am trying to do this all over again. I tried to do a live on YouTube and had issues, so here is my second try. I'm recording it and then I'll just post it later. But anyway, what I'm here for is I wanted to show you what my project that I've been working on. I'm working on these miniature hats. I don't have any more in stock, so I'm basically designing some more. And these are 3 pink hats in the front here that I designed. And these had already been started, so I said, okay, well, I have 3 one-of-a-kind ones that I will put in the shop, and then I'm going to design a few more pink, because pink is one of my best sellers. People buy a lot of pink. And here is another one. And I think I had abandoned them the last time because I wasn't happy with them, so I just tweaked them a little bit and made them look a little bit different, and now I'm satisfied with the look. And I like the unique ones because I can make similar, but they're basically just a unique hat that you can get for your Barbie. And sometimes I will still make a few that are the same, but I don't do that much. And then this is the one I've been designing now. This is the blue hat, and here she is on Barbie. Isn't she cute? Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you these. I'm going to finish decorating another blue hat because I'm making 3 of them. And oh, I should show you this too. Here I have this is my Barbie. I made this, crocheted this, I don't know, it was months, or I don't know, beginning of the year or something. And I'm finally using my Barbies again, so I decided to put it on her. I do crochet sometimes, but I don't really, put crocheting in my Etsy shop. I crocheted this dress. I think I was watching YouTube to see how to do it, and then I kind of made my own design. And I think I made a couple of them. I have a red one too that I made, but I like this white one. This is all cotton, but it was like a leftover cotton type of a lace. But anyways, now she has clothes on, even though you can see through them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this is more like a process DIY. I'm showing you basically what I use and what I do. And I'll probably finish one of this other one over here for you. This is the one I did we were doing on YouTube Live, but it didn't come out very well. It was just so shaky. It was driving me crazy. And actually, this is the one we're doing on live because it's not finished on this side, see? And then on this side it is. But what I started out these ones with is I've been using 2 types of hats. This one, let me adjust this a little bit to look more down, and place one of these on Barbie's lap and one on her head. Anyway, I'm just setting it up so you guys aren't just staring at nothing. There we go. Just making it look a little better. Okay, anyway, so you can see the things we're working on. So sometimes I'll use this cinnamon on this one. Now the cinnamon, I have a hard time finding these hats. I had purchased them from somebody on eBay, and a long time ago, a few years ago, and then I decorated a couple, then I started, and these ones you should be able to find. The problem is that you got to find the right size. The sizes they don't always tell you what size they are. But I'm going to measure this one so that if you guys buy them, these ones I bought from like a thrift store where you go and they're there and somebody never used them. So this one is about 3 inches across this way. So if you're looking, you might want to have the brim at least 3 inches. And on the inside of a Barbie, it's about 1.5 inches for the head fit. This one right here is a lot is less, but then I reform this a little bit, and I'll show you what I do. I'll take my hat like this one. As you can see, it cannot fit in that completely. This is what I'm using to kind of make it the right size. I used this, and I made myself some thimbles and things like that. So what I'll do is what I started doing now is I'm starting to put, this is the new thing I'm doing, I'm putting a little piece of felt at the bottom, so that when it comes through you can see a little bit of the color that I'm making them. So I cut a little felt and I put fabric tack on it, and then I take my steamer, my fabric steamer, and I steam this and heat it up a little bit, and I place it on this so that then I flatten it. I push it down, and I also flatten this. It won't go like now because I have to heat it. And then I put after I get it the right shape, I put the circle on the bottom with fabric tack, and then I put it back on here again so it sets, and let the fabric tack set it. So this one has been done. You can see the shape of it. It's flatter. It's a little bit bigger at the base, and if these fit perfectly on my Barbies. Okay, so that's how I shape it, and I'll do the same thing with these when I use these hats. I have a video out where I show you how I actually decorated one with this type of hat. I actually reshape these too if I need to. I will go and steam them also, and then I kind of form them, and you can when they're hot and getting a little moist, you can actually reshape them. So if you want one to, I've reshaped some of them where you want them to go up like this, you should be able to reshape it to do that, or flatten the top more, because this one I think the top is flattened because I did a lot of them. I flattened it more, and then so these can be reshaped too with some steam. Anyway, so that's what I do. I start with that. Then the first thing I do is I put this on, like I explained to you, and then I will take, I'm going to use this one. It doesn't fit very well, but it'll be a good demonstrator. This one I'm using tulle. You can use different fabrics. You have to experiment. And if you notice, there's tulle on the back of this one, and this is how I did it. I took my tulle and I just cut it about the size I wanted it to be, and then I took it and I lined it up here, and I kind of stretched it around, and I gathered it here in the back. I used my trusty cotton string, and I tied it right there. That's what this one is. If you can see, actually, let me see if you can do a close-up. You can see the string there, and I tightened that. That was the first thing I did. Oh, actually the second, right? One, steam it, then I did this, and then I added that. And I like to I do layers, and the layers are there, and I utilize my layers rather than cut this off. I chose something I can leave on there, and I can use in my design. Okay, so then the next thing I did is I took this trim. Let's see, I have some trim over here. Oop, see, this is one I have in my stash. I do not have it in my shop. I do have a different type of like gimp lace in my shop that you can purchase that has beads like this. And oh, this is not the first one I do. So I'm take this one, and I also have a lace. Oh, excuse me, guys. I have this lace. I have to remember the order I do this in. This is a vintage piece of a nice blue lace, and I do not have this in my shop. A lot of times, like I said, I use my stash to do it. So after I put that on, which I'm not going to do that part for you because it does take a little bit of time. I'm kind of just showing you everything I do. Then you can go off on your own and design your own. And I add this lace all the way around like this. And you can decide, you either put it up against here and put it on or leave it. You could leave it ruffled when you put it on, or like mine, I flattened it out because that's what I decided to do. And I actually put a little bit of glue on the places that have, I used fabric tack on that. I put a little bit of fabric tack, and then you have the ability to push it down. Now it does stick to your fingers, so you might want to use something that's non-stick when you're doing it, and it won't stick to your fingers. And that's basically where I'm at. Then here, this is a flower I put on top. That flower is, I do carry in my shop. It's the ones that have, I think I like 5 for, I don't know how much I sell them for, but there's like 5 little flowers, and they have a bead on top of here. I took off the bead, and instead I put on a ribbon, and that ribbon I do carry in my shop, and they're little small ribbons like these. Okay, and I fussy cut it out, and I used that to finish my project there. Okay, and then what I do is that when I have this, the tulle, put this stuff on the side. Now I'm going to show you how I layered this to look like this. So you can see I added more to it. So this is beautiful just as is, and it could be a cute hat. I mean, I wouldn't leave that raw like that. So but I'm covering it up. So what I did is I went and I took this and I separated it. And when I did that, because I did a double layer of tulle, so I have 2 layers, and I did cut it. But you can do it any way you want. Okay. So a lot of the things I put on this, I do not carry in my shop, but I do have in my stash. And some of these I've thought about, I purchased them and I thought about stocking them in my shop. So if there's something that I use, like if you see these and you think you really would like to use these, because these would make pretty flowers too. This one would. Look how pretty that flower would come out very easily. Let me know and I'll do a search on it. So when I first designed my first one, I decided afterwards that I wanted to, this trim is on this side of the tulle, and I decided I wanted to put it on the other side of the tulle. See, on this one I put it on this side. I haven't finished this one yet. I still got to go and tweak it. So I'm going to put it a little bit here. I'm going to use this like my trim, and I'm going to place it here. And I think I'm going to take it and tweak it like this and spread it out kind of like this. But I don't want to put too much glue, so I'm going to use just a few little tacks of glue. This time, last time I put the glue in the middle. This time I know that I'm going to add something later, and I didn't put it in the middle of that. I'm going to just put it on the edges. Attach it here. I'm just putting a little because later on I'm going to put some more fabric tack. So now I did that one, and then this lace has 2 layers. I'm going to push this layer up and 1 layer down. I think that's just the thread. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this a little. Adjust, and put a tiny bit of glue on this side so that when I put this tulle up, it'll stay a little bit. Not too much, because I still might put things in between it. And I want this tulle just to stand up, and then this one to come down. And open this one up, because you can always regather it if you want to change how it looks on your hat and reshape it, but I want to open it up so I have that choice to make on how I do it. That's what I did there. So now I decided to use this one, and I just happen to have these right colors. You can use your stash, you can use organza and do the same thing. You can use tulle. Oops, I almost put a lot. And then, oops, here we go. And then this one's gonna also go on there. Ow, I touched the glue. Not good. Luckily it was already a little cool, right? As you can see, I'm just adjusting things, see? All right. And then one of the other things that I used is, let's see, right here. I carry in my shop. I don't carry this color, but I have pink in this. I only had a few blues and I kept them for my stash. And these are like a vintage, and these are really good quality little flowers, and they have a bunch of little pearls on them. See that? And it's millinery flower, so it's on a wire. I cut the wire because I knew how I was going to use it. And then you might want to put a little bit of glue here to make sure all the little pieces stay together, because realize that the wire is holding a lot of this together. So you want to leave a little bit of wire. And so I decide how I want it to go. And I'll show you all the things I use one at a time. And like I said, some of them I have in my shop, some of them I don't. Okay, and then I placed it right there. Where are you, Hat? See? Yeah. And again, I'm going to put glue right here on the center, only attach it, because if I want to stick something on the sides, it's not all completely, full of glue. And I'm also going to add fabric tack afterwards. So you attach it. So now it's stuck on, and it looks lovely, doesn't it? It's just pretty, just like that. So you go as far as you want decorating your hats. This is probably enough now that I did all this beautiful detail work on it. I forgot to mention this right here. This is a small thin gimp. I have some gimp in my shop, but it's not this thin. It's thicker than this one. I'm starting to I do have the beaded trim that's more this size, which looks like a 1/2 inch. But this is like a 1/4 inch or something. And yeah, a little more than a 1/4. Probably 5/8. Okay, so nothing is completely permanent. Like I know I sound like a broken record, but I knew that I I had used this millinery flower on this, but I don't have enough to use it on this next one, so I'll change the flower. And I had put it right here. So I think I'm going to try using these roses. And this is what I mean by millinery flowers. They come like this on a wire. These are not vintage, but I do have some like these that are vintage. These ones I think I had purchased one time and did have in my shop before, but I've considered putting them back in my shop. But flowers don't sell that quickly, and they take up a lot of room, and you know how you have to package them. Yeah, so I just do the vintage ones that I have. So I think I'm going to use this flower, and I'm going to see how that comes out. I think it'll be okay. It's going to look a lot different, I think. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just change. It doesn't have all the beads the other one has, so it's going to look different. But I think I'm going to make it shorter. You do whatever you want with what you have. So that's a little shorter. I don't know. Maybe I'll change. Let me see what else I have. I don't know. I think I'll do the other side of this one, and so you can see what I did. And then I'm going to look for a different flower. I don't like that flower, these flowers that much. I know I didn't have enough of this one to decorate the same, make it the same. And plus I like to put the vintage, cute vintage stuff on there. So this is the other one I was making, and I'll show you how I put those on. I went and I used, I don't know if you've ever seen these. These are a little stamen that you can use for flower making. I've seen these at Hobby Lobby. But I buy most of mine online, but these ones are from Hobby Lobby. Then I have these, these are almost like a lavender blue, and all my blue doesn't have to match. I'm going to take 2 of these ones if it lets me. Okay, well, it's 2. I found that some of these were sticking together. And one of these. And I twisted it. All right. So remember, I'm just showing you my process, and I want you to create it the way you want. So I put the base of the flower of this right here, and I attached it here, and then I put the flower all over it. Okay, so let me twist it. I think I'll put the glue on there this time. I'll put some glue right there. Then I'll stick it in the glue. I'm actually going under the tulle, and this first part is just for me to get it to stay, so I can add something else on top of it. So while it's like that, usually I'll take and I'll adjust these the way I want them. And you can adjust them a little bit later too if it makes a difference, but I want one kind of up and one kind of down, and the blue ones there. And I think on this side I put 2 of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them all on there. I feel like it's too busy. And then this one is going to be used to add right there, right on top of it. See that? I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and see, there's the flower. The tulle kind of covers up like any separations between flowers. And now we're going to do this front on this one, just so I could show you how I did it, because I showed you I showed you that on the YouTube. Let's see, maybe I wonder how this will look here. This is higher. That's better. Oh, it's fine. Okay, so here you can see I have the first one we put. I decided to put it first, the tulle, and then that one. And on this hat, you can see I put this one the same way. But I decided at the last minute I wanted a little bit of color, something white in here. And so I have this. This is a piece of a vintage stamen. I've been on the search for some stamen that I could add to my shop, but I don't know if I can find any. I used to have vintage one. So remember I told you that I kept it open in the middle because the last time I did it, I was having trouble. And is that too tall? Maybe. And the way these little flowers are, these are vintage, so the flower, you know, separates. I'm going to push it up like that because I want them to the top. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there and push it up so it stops separating. Then if you purchase vintage ones from me, sometimes you will find that they'll be missing some leaves, little things fall off, but they're gorgeous. You can tell the quality of the things vintage to the more to now. Okay, I'm going to cut this a little more because I saw that it needed to be a little shorter, and I'm going to add that. That's going to actually get squished in there. Okay. with my tweezers. Try to get that in there. There we go. I'm getting it in there. And you can do it another way. You could, if you knew what you were going to do, you can do that first, but I wanted to show you how I did it. I did it after because at the last minute, I decided I was going to add the little bit of white on this side. And so I'm taking a little bit of these feathers. This particular one is a boa, and I just take a little bit off the boa. But I do have some other feathers that I had gotten because I was thinking about making bigger hats. I just cut some off. I'm actually going to cut some of these off from the bottom too, pull them off, so I have less fluff to work with. See if that's going to look good. You see that? Now I got to get that stuck in there. So sometimes when you're adding and layering and putting things on top of each other, sometimes that's what it takes. It takes you, one of the things was showing you on when I did the YouTube one, because I didn't leave that center space open, is that if you need to unglue it and need more room, use your hot glue gun to separate it again. And this is why I don't put everything, a lot of glue on it, because I'm adding to the design. Okay, so now we added that, and on this one we added the little flowers on the side. And this one I decided it's too many. When I design things, see, this one I think is too many. That's why I only added one of these kind on this side. So on this one I'm going to go ahead and probably cut some off. I'll just cut them off, right? So that's really all I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how I put this together. I think the last thing I did on my original one, which I didn't do, I'll do it on this one. I'll do it on this one because both sides are done. On this one, both sides are not done. I took this tool, and first I was going to leave it open, but I felt like that tool was just a little too soft. And I didn't like the way it was laying, but you know, that's up to you. There's different tools that are a little bit harder, and I decided to just kind of gather in the center and push it in, and then allow it to come out to the sides like a bow. And now I can add more glue there. And remember, that flower is not glued down very much, so when I add that glue, then I'll pull it out, and then you can adjust it. You can snip it. You can, you know, have less or more. And that's what I decided to do with that other part, is do it something like that. And then this one up here, you can decide if you want to trim this more or not. I just kind of mess with it. So I already told you I'm decided I'm going to take a couple of these pearls off, but that's pretty much how you do it. Now this one I was making, I'm going to go ahead and see, this looks pretty like this. It doesn't need this stuff on the side. It really doesn't. But I like these to be worn on the side on my Barbie, so I kind of keep that in mind. And do your little adjustments until you're happy with your piece, and trims and add more if you think it needs more. But that's basically how I made them. So I hope this inspires you. And I do want to let you know that I am going to I did save a I'm running a coupon right now in my shop of 10% off. So if you want the 10% off, you can go just message me on Etsy, or you can find it on Facebook, and I'll give it to you. And usually when I have my 10% discount, that's the biggest discount you'll ever get from me most of the time. Sometimes I'll run a sale when I'm trying to, on particular things, I'm trying to decrease my stock or something. And then at the same time, if you utilize the 10% off and you utilize the $35 shipping, then you will get the best discount from my shop. And that's it. I was just showing you what I'm working on, and I hope you're inspired to try your own and make yourself some little spring bonnets that you can use to decorate your room. You can place on a Barbie, you can place in a dollhouse. You can use this as a Christmas ornament also. Just would look really cute on top of a tree. All the little hats, and you can attach, hang it, or just place it on the tree. And they're just like my little miniature dresses. Decorate with them the same way. So I hope you're inspired and you have a beautiful day. This is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I will talk to you guys.